Good morning, Desert Willow Wolves. Will you please rise and join me for our Pledge of Allegiance and our moment of silence? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Now, please join me in our moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. Good Monday morning, everyone. Today is July the 29th, 2024. And for lunch today, it is popcorn chicken with seasoned fries and, of course, some barbecue sauce to dip that in. For breakfast waiting for you tomorrow, it's a breakfast platter. You can expect eggs, tater tots, and a muffin. I do not have any students with a birthday this Monday morning. However, it's Monday morning and it's a great time to refresh and start a new week, remembering some of the things that we talked about last week that are so important for us here at Desert Willow. That very first one that I'm going to talk to you about is that word expectations. You've been talking to your classroom teacher about classroom expectations, and we've been talking about our ways of the wolf in various locations in the school. You've heard expectations from specials teachers. You've heard expectations from me about the hallway. You've heard expectations from Mrs. Karen about the bathroom and Mrs. Dawson about the cafeteria. We fully expect, there's that word, that you are following these ways of the wolf in those areas. We are on the hunt with our tickets to make sure that you are recognized when we see you showing integrity in those areas, when we show you being responsible in those areas, and certainly when you are working together. What do these go for, you ask? Well, I have heard through some of my sources, well, AKA students and teachers, that we have some students who have already filled up a level up card. Our very first level up celebration is going to happen on Thursday. So be working hard because on Thursday, we will have our first level up celebration, which means if you have punched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and filled up your card, you come to our celebration and we celebrate you and make sure you're well on your way to level 2. So keep it up in the hallways. It's a great time on a Monday morning to remember just what it is we're working for and what we expect of you here at Desert Willow. This morning, we will have a fire drill. You should have practiced this and know where to go with your classroom teacher. When we do a fire drill, it is very important that you keep a few things in mind. We are practicing in the event that we actually need to do this for our safety. So you are to exit the building in a quiet and orderly manner. What do I mean by orderly? I mean that we are not rushing out of those doors. We're walking at a fast enough pace that if it were a true emergency, we would exit the building in a good time, but there's no rushing, crowding, running, any of that when you leave the building. When you get out to your spot outside, it is so important that you are waiting in a quiet line. Your teacher's job is to make sure that every student in the class made it out there and report that to me, to Mrs. Karen and Mrs. Dawson out by the fire drill. So in order to do that, we need you to be waiting as quietly as possible in your line. If we need to cross-reference and make sure we have all students accounted for, that's much more difficult to do when there's a lot of noise. So we will practice our first fire drill this morning. I will get back to you all with some feedback tomorrow morning on our announcements. Yes, that's it. That is all I have for my announcements on this Monday. This is Mrs. Davies signing off, wishing you the most magnificent and magical Monday you can have.